Greetings from MuddyBootsHerbalist. It's late at night. This is what I usually call the evening shift. I'm in my dispensary. It's about 10:30 at night. And this is the time of day when I sort of do all the day-to-day non-paperwork admin that a working dispensary or working herbal dispensary has to go through. So that means things like bottle washing, putting away stock, sorting out tinctures, pressing tinctures, filtering tinctures. Ones I've made anyway, all that kind of stuff. So it's been hell's day here, hell of a busy day, absolutely foul Welsh weather. So there's only one thing to do to drive that away, and that's use some of the other things in the dispensary. So excuse me a minute. Absolutely filthy habit using lab glassware for beer drinking, but there we go. A bit of lubrication is required this time of night. It's rude not to. I wanted to talk to you about bottles. I wanted to talk to you about labels. If you're anything like me, you'll have found you have these kind of results from trying to clean sticky labels on tincture bottles. These are actually some stock bottles I wanted to clean up a bit. They leave these sort of horrendous, greasy, sticky marks. No matter what you seem to do with them, they're pretty inexorable. So I want to show you how I deal with them, or my creative solution to dealing with them. Beer o'clock. So there's all sorts of options for removing labels, but the one I tend to use is this. In the UK we have what we call petrol lighters. I guess in America or in the States you call them Zippos or Rolsons or those kind of lighters. They use a liquid fuel, not the butane gas lighters. And this fuel has many qualities, but because it's super refined for cigarette flame, it doesn't really smell. And I suppose if you taste it, it doesn't really taste, not that you want to. With the lids on your bottle, so it doesn't get in the bottles, a little bit of the lighter fluid on a piece of tissue and wet the label quite thoroughly. You can even hold it in place for a few minutes, I suppose, and let it soak in. In fact, let's do that. Tear off the strip of paper and let the petrol do its work its magic. And what you'll find is that very soon indeed the solvent, the petrol, starts lifting the adhesive off the bottles. Let's find another one that's in a bit of a state. Oh yeah, that's pretty easy. Pretty typical clear glass bottle, but still marred by the adhesive. That will lift off more easily than you'd think, but it does sometimes require elbow grease. Very technical northern term. So the petrol's been on for less than 2 minutes, and already you can see that the label is starting to lift. Some adhesive compounds are stronger than others. The judicious use of a fingernail may be required, but ordinarily a fingernail wouldn't on its own remove the adhesive. It would get more of the paper label backing material off, but it wouldn't actually lift the adhesive. This does. And I always think, I used to do lots of bottle washing when I was training at university, and I always think that one of the tests they should have at the end of the year to let people graduate is actually removing a well and truly adhered label like this. It would prove a lot, mainly about tenacity and ingenuity. So I'm afraid that there's some marks on this label, on this bottle. Not because of the adhesive, just because the bottle's knackered, so it's probably not a good one to show you on. There we are. One clean bottle. I'm afraid that these are marks from the bottle being used and going on off the shelf. But basically, that's it. Ones like this you can see quite clearly the adhesive's on there relatively quickly with little fuss. It comes off. Making sure to get all the little knobbles out of the way. finger. But yeah, very easily comes off, and you can either wash it again with a little bit of soap and water, or if you like, a fresh piece of tissue with more lighter petrol on it, which is what I tend to do. It just gets the streaks off. For anyone that's interested, one of the uses that they actually had for petrol before the automobile came along in the late Victorian age wasn't for running vehicles at all. It was for dry cleaning. It was for dry cleaning and shining crystal glassware, because everyone likes a taste of SO in their claret. Not. There you are. Absence of label. Or labelling adhesive. All gone. Okay. A bit smeary. Is it smeary? It's the light. No, it's the light. It's actually quite clear. But the reflection is saturating the lens, unfortunately. And that is how Muddy Boots Herbalist removes ingrained adhesive labels. And like I said, if you want to, you can put those, I wouldn't take the caps off again, they've been sterilised in the bottom of the Aga at 100 degrees. Actually, these haven't, that's a lie, they're plastic. These have been washed with Savlon. These have been put in the bottom of the Aga to sterilise. Leave the caps on, run them through the washing up bowl again, just to take any streaks off left by the petrol. So that's washing glassware, something I really need an apprentice for, along with helping me to get suitably inebriated in the dispensary. From Muddy Boots Herbalist, I hope you have a pleasant and safe evening, and that this video has been useful. I would also say, please like and comment, and please share this video if you found it useful. It's a little trick, but it works surprisingly well. As we say always at Muddy Boots Herbalist, well, I do wedding. See you later.